Okay, we'll open the floor for any questions.
And so, Commissioner, maybe we'll start with an update on the double homicide case and then also Mr. Rios' case, which is being investigated as a homicide. If we could just have updates on both of those cases.
Okay. As to the update of the homicides that is still pending, I'm gonna have Captain Jeff Olopai give you a brief on the status.
Okay, so with respect to the double homicide, we have sent off evidence, a number of evidence off to the labs for analysis, and we have been working closely with our federal partners to include Guam GPD lab, and once the results come back, then we should have something more solid to share.
Can you share about Rios? Has there been a determination of cause of death?
So there was an external examination conducted on the deceased on February 27th, and from the findings for the examiner, there was no indication of foul play. There was no trauma to the deceased. At that time, the examination was conducted.
So there was no autopsy?
No, just an external examination.
And with regards to Rios' search, I believe he was found just 100 yards away from his home. Has there been a determination on how law enforcement might have not found him sooner given the proximity to his house?
We conducted the search as soon as we got the information. So it was unfortunate that we weren't able to locate him at the time. By the time we located him, it was already, the subject had already, Mr. Reeves had already passed.
So to be clear, it's no longer being investigated as a homicide.
It's not a homicide investigation anymore because from the findings of the examiner, there was no trauma to the body and no obvious signs of foul play.
Any leads on the double homicide?
Yes, but I cannot speak to that right now, pending the results from the lab.
Can you just tell us if you're already interviewing witnesses, or what process have you done in the investigation? How far have you gotten?
We've interviewed just about every person that has been mentioned that we came across during the investigation, and we're already at the phase where we've collected everything that we have identified as a viable piece of evidence and sent it off to the lab.
All right, and if it's okay to switch gears a little bit to you, Commissioner, I did want to address some public sentiment about the reinstatement of Camacho and the appearance that because Bermudez was asked to resign, some say that's connected to it, and now that you're back, he is also back. Do you want to just address the public about this concern?
I am not going to detail because this is administrative, but the resignation of Bermudez has nothing to do with his Sergeant Peter Camacho. I took that upon my decisions to reinstate him, but with a condition.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Okay, can we get an update on the sexual assault case that is happening in MHS? How far have we gotten also with that investigation?
I cannot speak to the sexual assault case right now. I'm not able to discuss details about that right now, but we will issue a release on it. If not today, then if not right after this meeting, then later on today.
Because I believe that the alleged suspect is not on island. So, I mean, like, does that impact the case at all?
Right, again, we'll issue a release. We'll issue a release on that with all the details that we can release.
I just want to assure the community that we are still actively pursuing this case. We are not straying off from it. As this investigation continues, I want the community to know that we are taking things seriously, and we're taking step by step. Ensure that if it's time for the case to move forward, to be prosecuted, that we covered every side and make sure that everything is right before it goes to the AG's office and up to the courts.
Commissioner, regarding Manpower, where are we in kind of like adding additional officers to for the department?
With the issue of the Manpower, I am still able to sustain the manpower to cover our island, thus giving other sections a bit of the responsibility. But in the future, I have not made a determination yet to move on with the Police Academy #1 because of the funding issue. There is talks already on going through WIA process. The only thing that I'm kind of a bit of concerned is that #1, that once they graduated, then I have to commit to take them, and if I don't have the money, then it's gonna be they're gonna be in limbo. So I have to make sure that I secure fundings to get the manpower. The other thing too is I am actively meeting with the Department of Corrections to set up this CLIA along with customs and biosecurity. I do have funding, but it's limited. It only is the COPS programs, which only guarantees me 8 people. But if I'm gonna put them into the to be accredited with the college, I have to meet the threshold of the college minimum, which is 10, and it's only 8 right now. So in the coming future, I'm gonna put in some requests for the COPS program again to try and get fundings to hire more police officers. Because right now, that's where I'm going to is to get federal funding in order for me to hire more people.
And have you been communicating with the legislature for funding availability or any other sources of funding to kind of like alleviate and help the department?
Well, since the budget hearing is coming up, we have already turned in we have submitted our budget, and one of them is to ask additional funding to hire people in lieu of getting the COPS program to hire more police officers. But yes, I did include in the budget for next year is to get funding to hire more people.
Are you anticipating any funding from the governor or?
I have not discussed it, but I could be with him later on during probably by next week, just to kind of give him update and kind of share my challenges here, because I need to, but we still manage to control our overtime, despite of the manpower issue, and that's one of the challenges that I'm going through, is that I have to continue to provide those services out, and also trying to control the overtime costs to pay these officers. But aside with that, there's also activities that were asked from the community in regards to it's either private religion. They do ask, but even with that, I try and work where I'm going to use the police officer that's working, and probably if need be, I'll get a couple of officers to pay them overtime. So I could help the community with their requests.
What happened to the vacant positions for the terminated officers? Have you filled those, or?
Those are no longer. It's FTE, but it's not funded. Yeah.
And we can't forget that the governor nominated you to the posts post that you've expressed you wanted. So can we just get your comment? This is our
Yeah.
first time speaking with you after he nominated you. So.
It is I'm so thankful to the governor and the lieutenant governor for nominating me to be the next commissioner for this Department of Public Safety. I know there's going to be a lot of challenges that I'm facing. Even to then, I'm still facing challenges, but I do work diligently with my command staff, and of course with the governor to let him know on a day-to-day what are the things that I need to continue to move this department forward. As to the date of my confirmation, I have not gotten any word yet, but hopefully soon.
Are you now that you know that you're nominated and it's I would say a likely confirmation given your nomination? What would you say are your top priorities? Are there any major transformations you want to make here now that you're likely not to be in an acting capacity?
Well, one of the issues there that I'm looking really for is to re-examine the salary of the police officers. The police officers' role in the community is very critical. Thus, that they do confront with different kind of scenarios out there. So, if other agencies can be benefit with hazardous pay, that's one of them that I need to find ways how to instill that to the officers, police officer salary. In the U.S. continent, this department is the lowest paid police department. But because of the officers' commitment to do the job, they continue to show their efforts to continue coming to work and do what it is. But also as a leader, I also have to fight myself to continue to provide them with extra incentives that would continue to enhance them to come in, and also to make the salary attractive so I could continue to bring in more people.
Any comments on promoting officers as well? Or?
The promotion is forthcoming. Is that I just want to make sure that I have the money again. When if promotion comes, it comes along with salary. So I want to make sure that these officers are getting promoted or given the salary so that they can continue to motivate them to do the job as if you got the promotion to do extra work, and of course to entice others to move up the ranks.
This is my last question. Under the previous commissioner, there was this Garapan public safety kind of campaign and the town halls. What's your approach to addressing, village-specific types of public safety?
Currently, right now, the TOPS, which is the tourist-oriented, I've started already. I've assigned police officers in Garapan as a launch pad to continue bringing the officers to the community. In preparation that we're not going to wait until the tourists start coming in. Then I'm going to put the officers in place already in lieu of them coming in. With the TOPS officers, they're also part of the responsibility is to patrol the tourist sites. As far as the town hall, I have future plans to go down to the villages and kind of talk to the people and hear their sentiment, hear their complaints, and that way I could adjust on how I'm gonna deal and deploy police officers, or come up with ways to help the community in crime prevention, and also to bring the community together so that we can help each other. Just like the mayor of Saipan is doing, he's trying to revive that neighborhood watch. I'm in support of the mayor's intent, but as soon as everything is in place, then I will continue to push this issue where I have to also ask the community to help. That's why I'm talking to the police officer that they have to go out and continue to patrol the villages and interact with the community. They have to interact with the community because a lot of this community have vital informations that are crucial in solving crimes, It's just a matter of just the officer meeting with these people, getting that information and sending it over to the proper section where where crimes that have been previously reported can be reinvestigated again.
Do you have a general message to the community despite the challenges that the department is currently having? What's your main kind of like?
I was sure that community that public safety is still there. I was sure that the officers will be out there to serve and protect the community and continue to be a problem solver. I encourage every community to talk to a police officer. If you have any information that's need to be listened to, they can always call the officer. They can always call down the non-emergency number. It's at 664-9001 and talk to any police officer there, or you can call the Crime Stopper at 234-7272. The community will continue to at ease as long as the officers are out there doing what they need to do. I also encourage the community to report crimes. If you don't want to involve your name in it, you can call the Crime Stopper. The Crime Stopper have incentive that if you report a crime and it's been investigated and the case went through prosecution, you will be awarded for those information. But the community has to work together and work with the police department and to continue to watch ourselves out there. But yes, I'm still committed to helping the community, and the officers are out there every day to assure that there's officers present at every corner of their villages or at their area.
And I just wanted to follow up on a tip about the double homicide. Is there any connection or relation to the fugitive who went by the alias Batu? Are you able to provide any information? I believe he's also facing charges in Palau as well, right?
Yeah, he's in Palau. We don't have anything on him right now. We have a pending arrest warrant, but for drug charges locally.
And those are totally separate and apart from
Yes.
the double homicide?
Separate, yes.
Okay. So are you looking for his extradition here, or?
The last information we got from when we were with the former Commissioner Bermudez is that the CNMI government doesn't want him here. You know, he's facing murder charges there. Why would we want to extradite him here for drug charges? I mean, but that's the information that we got from the Hill.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Thanks.
Just one more thing. As part of my plan too is to increase the presence of police officers at the local schools. I know that there's a program called the School Resource Officers, but again, that's going to be a federal grant that I need to apply to hire people so they can patrol the schools. But for now, I'm in communication with the Commissioner of Public School System to have a collaborative discussion to where I'm gonna allow the police officers to come into the school campus, get down and walk around the campus just to show that there's police officers in campus, and meet with the faculty and kind of get some update on what has been the activity around the school. So that's the other thing that I added to have the officer patrol the schools. It doesn't matter if it's high school, junior high school, elementary school. All schools in my watch are important.
And is that in response to any particular events, or?
No, it's going to be once we finalize on our discussion. It's going to be a daily thing where the officers come to the school and show presence. Exception in summer.
Well, I'm just curious if the program is coming because of maybe the incidents at Cha-Cha and reports at schools. But this is just generally a thing you want.
Yeah,
to do.
this is something that I want, so that I'll ease some of the tensions on some of the schools that are having when you never know who's coming into the school. But with the presence of police officers in campus, that kind of sways the people that wants to come in and disrupt, and unease the tensions of the faculty and the students. That's the reason why I'm having this conversation with the public school system, so I could help them. Probably in the near future, I could also include private schools, but that's still on my table to discuss with them.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Commissioner, sorry, can I just go back to, the homicides? With your experience, the many years that you've served here in the department, and now, you are nominated to be the chief. What can you say, about delays in homicide cases and possible solutions?
When it comes to homicide, you have to be mindful that there are many things that's taking place, from interviewing witnesses, interviewing people of interest, crime scene processing, evidence forwarded to other to federal or other police department around the region. And they have to understand that we're not the only people that are, when we ask to have our evidence processed, that we're not the only people that made that. Even the state where the evidence went to, they have other evidence that they're examining. So that's some of the time that takes a whole lot. It's just waiting. As far as to leave it, we are not. There's nothing in this department that I know that cases are put to rest. We are still investigating. Right now, the department is only collecting information as to certain case, and that's where the case will be open and looked at based on information that we receive. And again, there's a whole lot of people know what's going on around crimes that occurred, but some of the people, some of these people are either afraid to come up because they don't want to get involved, or they're afraid that because they might be also a victim of why did they report. That's the reason why that they have that Crime Stopper. That if you're not comfortable talking to the investigator directly, you can give that information, and if you don't give a name, give us something that will know that this is you, so that we will know that that information came from you. So those are the things that we use to actively investigate the crimes. There are a whole lot of times that if a suspect has been identified, are no longer an island, and that prolongs the process, because now we gotta find, especially if it's a foreign country, now we have to find to make a relationship with that country in order for us to get their help to bring that person, so that we can pick them up and bring them back home. Those are the things. That's the thing that's really some of the delays around here. But I cannot say it's a delay. It's just some of the obstacles that we're looking at. You have to remember that we're in the middle of our geographic is far away from places that are advanced in investigating crime. So that's the reason. That's other reasons why that we're set back on some of the things that we send off, and it takes time. I could mention, if I send an evidence today, probably by next year I could get that result, because there is other evidence that they're looking at. Some of that country that they're processing our evidence might be they're investigating more serious crimes that they're so that kind of put us setback. But like I said, I assure the community that we still investigate serious crime. We are not in to let it rest. But the only time it's going to let it rest if we find the perpetrator, bring them to justice, and then he's serving time. That's when the case rests. But till then, the case is still open.
And then while we have you here, I just wanted to also ask about autopsies. I understand it's the AG who makes that formal request, right, after you put it in?
Yes.
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 But I'm just curious because right now I know it's CHCC's Dr. Dotterman who performs them
Yes.
locally. And I also just learned that the MOU that was signed between the AGs of Guam and the CNMI a year ago to have Dr. Jeffrey Nine provide services for
Okay.
us was withdrawn. So does DPS need more resources when it comes to things like autopsies? Does it need that MOU back with Guam? Can I just get your comment on that? Because right now I understand Dotterman does it effectively, but do we need more like the MOU?
Well, I cannot talk about the hospital side. I mean, hospital makes determination how many medical examiners that they need. But as long as we have somebody on island, that once we have some cases that are questionable death, that's where he comes in, and that's where we make the request. So that way we can confirm is if there's any foul play been done, or it's just natural.
But the way it's
natural.
done right now is sufficient and is not holding back any investigation.
For now, it's sufficient. I don't see any reason why. I don't see any reason why we would add more, unless the only thing that's again is going to be set back if the medical examiner up at the hospital is not available. That's the obstacle that. But again, currently we rely on him until he leaves the island or he continues to serve the Commonwealth.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Mm.